Yo, what's up guys? We're gonna be making an Ani-Blox tier list, and this is only about the characters that I have. I have most characters. Well, I have every single character starting from the Fate banner. Before that, I don't have any of them, so I can't give you my personal opinion. A disclaimer before we start this is all these characters are based on personal opinion and not based on like facts or anything. It's just like which one I prefer to use and stuff like that. Let's get started. So first off, we're gonna go with Lancer. Lancer is A tier just because he's good for farming slimes, and he's like dog shit at doing infinity trial, and that's in my opinion. Don't get me like don't send me hate or anything. That's just my opinion. He could definitely be S tier if he had any more long range moves besides skill 2. The reason I put Lancer at A tier and not S tier is because of this. And you might be saying, yo Ralph, what the fuck, dog? Lancer is definitely S tier. Well, not in my eyes, because he's good for farming slimes, don't get me wrong, because he has a lot of AoE damage, but he's not good in infinity trial because the only good long range skill that he has is skill 2. And I don't want to be relying on skill 2 in order to like kill them. You know, Tanjiro is definitely S tier because he has a lot of AoE damage, and he has gap closing with the skill 1, and he's good for infinity trial and farming slime, so he's best of both worlds. The reason I put Tanjiro at an S tier is because he has a pretty decent gap close. He does pretty good basic attack damage. He has a lot of AoE with this skill, so you can use him to farm slimes and also to do infinity trial. To Zoro, you know, I don't know if he's A tier or B tier. Because yeah, I'll put him A tier. I put Zoro at an A tier because he's good for infinity trial, but he's not good for like farming slimes or anything like that. And the reason he's good for infinity trial is because he has a decent amount of range with his skill 2, and he does a decent amount of damage. Okay, Sasuke's pretty balanced. He's definitely around A or B tier just because he has like pretty good range, pretty good gap closing, and he does have a pretty good AoE skill because he does have a pretty good dash to gap close and does a pretty decent amount of damage. He does have long range, and he has AoE damage with his third skill. So he's pretty good for slime trials and infinity mode. Yo, next up is Inosuke, and honestly, he's like C tier at best. High C, maybe very low B tier. Inosuke is the worst one out of the Demon Slayer banner just because he doesn't have a pretty good kit. So that's why I probably give him like around high C to low B tier. It's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Naruto. Coming up, the first one in B tier. Like I said before, he's good in B tier. I won't put him in A tier just because I don't feel like he's nearly as good as somebody like Lancer or Zoro or maybe Sasuke. So he definitely belongs in B tier. High B tier, low A tier. He does have a lot of iframes, and he's decently good for infinity trial. Not too good for slime trials though. Straw Hat Luffy is next. Unfortunately, he does belong in B tier next to Naruto. Gonna be a lot of B tiers just like Naruto. But Luffy is definitely B tier. I would not put him any higher than B tier or any lower than B tier, just because he's pretty good. He's alright, I guess, for a starter character. Has a pretty good ultimate, but he's not the best. He's alright for infinite, but not too good for something like slime trials. I want you to guess who's next. He has every single race in the anime. Yes, the Pokemon head ass little boy. Next up is Ichigo. He's at C tier because he's booty as fuck, bae. The reason I'm putting Ichigo at C tier is because his kit is not good. We're almost done with this, so do bear with me. Asta, B tier, honestly. Alright kit, but he isn't the best. I still feel like doesn't belong in A tier quite yet. Asta's alright. Like, he has a pretty decent dash, which does no fucking damage whatsoever. I like this move because it's good for infinity trial. And this move is good for farming slime since it does have AoE damage. But overall, he's still like low A tier, B tier, something like that. So next up, we're going with my favorite character, and I'm gonna give you a second to guess. If you know who he is, leave a comment down below who you think my favorite character is. And 1, 2, 3, and that's Zenitsu. You already know that's my dog right there. S tier easy, no hesitation whatsoever. Like he's just good. Probably one of the strongest kits in the game. My favorite character, I do think he's the best one on the game if you know how to use him. He's dog shit for farming slimes, but for Infinity Trial and farming quartz, he's the best in the game, honestly, in my opinion. Just because she's just too good, honestly. You know, next up is Saber. She's A tier and she's hanging there by a thread. The only reason she's not B tier is because her skill 3 is good, but it's alright, and her ultimate's the only thing that's solidifying her position in A tier, but she's definitely around B to A tier. The reason I'm putting Saber at A tier is because her skill 3 is pretty good, but in Infinity Trial you can't really use it against the boss because it does take a bit, so you have to like perfect time it, because you know bosses don't get knocked back, so they usually do combo you. That's the reason why I don't like to use her all that much. Her skill 2 doesn't cover that much range, and her skill 1 isn't anything special. Her ultimate's good, but you know, you can't always rely on the ultimate, you feel? We might as well just do another fake character, and we're gonna do Lancer. Lancer is S tier for sure. He's good as fuck for farming slimes, but he excels in doing Infinity Trial because his skill 3. You can do Infinity Trial forever if you just spam skill 3 and don't get lazy. I'm probably just gonna do all of this at once. I'm sorry if I don't show clips for the next characters. It's because I've been busy, really busy lately. And next, well, I'm gonna tell you about Goku. I don't have him right here, I forgot to add him, but Goku is definitely S tier because he's really good for farming Infinity Trial because of his long range, and he just has quick escapes. Like you just do skill 1, get the fuck out, do skill 2, dash, kill a few, get the fuck out, use the skill 3, Kamehameha, get the fuck out. That's it. It's quick. You actually can't get hit with them. You know, first trash to F tier is just YOUUUUU, because if you're good with YOUUUUU, I've seen good YOUUUUU players, but you know, he's like what I like to call a specialist. Shanks, he's good if you're in a team, so let's give him A tier because his ultimate, you can freeze anybody and your teammates can take advantage of it. But if you're like playing Shanks alone, he's definitely like D to C tier, so I'm gonna put him like a high C tier. But he's definitely really good if you're playing with other people, just because they can take advantage of your ultimate. And the reason his ultimate is so bad for him is because it fucks up your camera, and good luck trying to hit somebody like that. You know, definitely high A tier just because of his long range moves. Well, you know what, B tier. Fuck it. And Tanjiro, after thinking about it, he's also A tier. I don't want to put him in the same category as Zenitsu and Archer. Sanji, A tier 2. Yeah, a lot of you are gonna hate me for that, but yeah, Sanji definitely A tier. I fucking love him. Chad, D tier. I don't care if you hate me for that, but I don't like Chad that much. Sakura, C tier, just because he does have good heals, but in Infinity Trial it gets to the point where heals aren't really useful because they just one-shot you. Same thing with Noelle, same story. She does have a shield. Actually, she's better because she does give you a shield and heals you with her ultimate, so she goes B to A tier. Guys, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. See you next time. Peace.